Howdy, and welcome to Practical Principles. This is Practical Prince, talking tarot today. So I'll go ahead and show the chat. If you've got stuff you want to talk about, topics, we can chat. If you want a reading, we can do that. I got a new deck recently, although I haven't had much time to play with it yet, so there's that. Maybe I'll pull that out. Otherwise, hope you're doing well. And I'll just continue getting set up. And I think I'll need to start by making room in case we do need to do a reading. I've been thinking about doing a reading for myself, although I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about it, how to formulate the question and whatnot, and the aspects I'm interested in. So there's that. Till then, I guess I'll just monologue like usual. I feel like you sort of get a stream state here when I just monologue about how things have been going. But, well, it is what it is. Yeah, I guess Facebook decided to start working for streaming this week. We'll see if it continues doing that. I'll set these there in case we do go that route. Because I need to edge that new deck. It's got white edges and it's largely black otherwise. So. In fact, there's so much black I might do a sloppy edging of it, but it'll still look good. So I'm pulling out The Lost Forest for myself. But yeah, if you've got questions, comments, if you want to see stuff, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to figure out how I'm going to do a reading for myself, I guess. I guess I can monologue about that. It's kind of personal. But, I'm not too concerned. Just being transparent. Oh, I need to flip the scarf. Yeah, I guess I've just been feeling a bit lost, which is part of why I'm doing the Lost Forest. I feel like Cosma or Prisma might also be good choices, but I feel like I'm more internally lost than lost in the world. So I feel like the Lost Forest is better for that. I'll go ahead and open up my cheat sheet. And I'll set that. I'll just set it here for now. Hopefully I don't. Well, I guess it's paper. Rolling it over won't hurt it too much. And move this aside so I can shuffle. I've now got so much stuff crowding the space. I need a charger for the phone so it doesn't die. I need room for the mixer so the mic can go to somewhere, and then from there to you. So one of the issues I struggle with is purpose, direction in life. There's a few things that I take to be true. I'm religious, so my faith plays a part of that. And then just details I know about myself. Like, I tend to be intellectual, so I like to think. And I do tend to be overly analytical. Maybe not, well, overthinking to an extent. Over-engineering solutions sometimes. It can be an issue when you program. Spending more time on the solution than you really need to. Not that the solution is worse, just that you didn't need such a big hammer for such a small nail. Something like that. So, yeah. So how... Because right now I'm unemployed. And I need to follow up on that. So... Because, yeah, I'll almost certainly need to get a job, and then timing for this would change. I don't know how much, but we'll see. So, yeah, I guess part of that is, like, what job am I going to find satisfaction in and not end up leaving? Not to say that leaving is bad. Sometimes you need that sort of change or transition, but yeah. I'm laying out cards and I don't even know what they're for yet. So let's see. I've got 2 on the far left. I'm guessing those are context or influence, something to that effect. They're leading into 1 to the right of them. There's another to the right of that. And then, for some reason, these are going to spray out. And now, how do I even interpret this? Because I placed the cards without even knowing what they are there for. Well, so the first 2, I mean, that's going to be context of some sort. The one next to that would usually be leading into, like, present situation or you. Well, myself in this case. And then the one next to that, I mean, in a 1, 2, 3, past, present, future, that would be future. But then we've got even more to the right of that. So maybe that's, near future. That seems right. But then the spray, I'm not so sure about. Okay, I guess I'll show you guys. Let me flip the camera. And then orient, good job. And let me lock that, because that's a smart thing to do. There's the orientation. No, don't do that. Sorry. Horizontal. Get out. Sorry. Lock that. Nope. For some reason, that wants to reorient. So we're going to have to just hold it correctly, I guess. Not that that's an issue. But yeah, do we have it? Okay. And so yeah, there's the spread I'm working with. So we've got so awkward. We've got the two context influences, past potentially, leading into present or self, near future, and then this spray. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if it's divergent paths or different aspects. But I think I'm just going to start with the first four on the left and take it from there. So we'll see. Let me set this down. And I'll flip over both of the influences. We've got Ace of Oceans and Five of Skies. So for the Ace, it's a sea dragon underwater. Oceans tends to deal with emotions. Could be someone looking for a partner swimming around. Although I feel like there's another one that's similar to that. Maybe I'm thinking of the Knight of Oceans. But yeah, just sort of a wandering nature there. And then we've got Five of Skies, which we've got 3 birds in the background and then 2 birds in the foreground who are having a bit of a spat. So let's take a quick look at those. Obviously, there's some sort of conflict being described in that one. Let's start with Ace of Oceans. It travels slowly along the ocean floor in search of a companion, a search that could take centuries. And then the aspects are compassion, creativity, new relationships. Okay. I mean, I think that speaks fairly accurately to me. I do tend to be a bit withdrawn, so you can sometimes see apathy there, but in general, if it were to actually be tested, I think I would be on the more compassionate side. Five of Skies. Fights between raptors are rare, but have mortal consequences. Conflict, competition, disagreement. I mean, the closest thing I can come to with that is work and leaving that. Not that there was bad blood or anything there. But yeah, we did end up splitting. So there's that. Let's take a look at Self. We've got Knight of Fire. We've got Burning Salamander. The veins of these volcanic lizards course with magma, granting them boundless energy. Fearless and bold, they make their nests in active volcanoes. Energy, passion, impulsiveness. I mean, I would probably describe myself more as a low energy person. But I guess without structure right now, because I don't have a job or anything, I don't have that regular support there. You could see some impulsiveness there. As far as passion goes, I assumed it was creative, but I guess it could be love. Yeah. So speaking to me now, which makes sense. I mean, I'm concerned, feeling lost, a bit pent up about what to do about that. So that's fair play. Short term, we have the star, which has come up before. I like that one. The light of the brightest star dispels illusion and lays bare the truth. Renewal, finding purpose, faith. So presumably I'll have an answer. We'll have resolved this question at some point. So far things are tracking. The question is, what is this spray and how is that supposed to be interpreted? I'll go ahead and show you what we've got so far. Let me make that bigger again. And I'll go ahead and hide the chat since it's pretty quiet today. So you've got that Ace of Oceans, Five of Skies. Let me get a little bit of glare off of that. Knight of Fire, and then the Star, which is a major arcana. Oh, nope, I don't want the chat. I want to take you off so I can set you down. So now, question is, what is this spray and how is that going to be interpreted? And maybe I flip them first and find out the answer later. Normally this would be, I think of this as three different directions. If they were stacked, maybe it would be three different aspects, but well, yeah. Don't know what I don't know, so I guess we'll just have to flip and then find out from there. We have the Mage, another major arcana. We have Six of Fire, which is a Phoenix. And we have 10 of Earth. Sorry, got an itch on my nose. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Six of Fire is first on my eye. It's not first in the order, but when the earth melts and the skies burn, a phoenix has found its home. The aspects being success, overcoming, being recognized. Okay, so there's triumph, which, given the way the phoenix is depicted, does make sense. We have 10 of Earth. Bulbs lie dormant for years before blossoming into the most beautiful of flowers. And I should say it's a thick tree, and at the base of it we've got a number of blooming flowers, 10 to match the number. Financial success, long-term success, wealth. Okay. All promising things. And then we have the Mage. Like a fading sunset, the magic of fairies is ephemeral, but dazzling to behold. Manifestation, power, resourcefulness. So that's great. I still don't have a personal answer, I think. This isn't helping me figure that out per se. I'll go ahead and show it to you so that you guys know what I'm looking at. So here let me turn it this way. You've got the Mage, and the Six of Fire, and circling some more, go wrist, go. We've got 10 of Earth. And then circle back out. We've got our spread. So, yeah. I'll take a picture for myself That doesn't really help me with answering my purpose, though, so that's a bit unfortunate. Oh, there's your camera. Um, give me photography. Snap. Okay, hopefully that's good enough. And let me back in. Excellent. Go back down. Okay. I mean, I like the reading, but I mean, it doesn't really help me with my immediate problem of what should I do about work. And to an extent, this, since this is my self-assigned work, in a sense. Time to mix the cards back in. Well, if you've got questions, topics you want to talk about, by all means, drop them in the comments, all of them. That back up. But yeah. And maybe I'll mix up my caption at some point. So I should probably, I want to ask another question. Maybe the Destiny deck is better for what I should be doing. Because we are talking about future, especially if I'm going to get more concrete. Because we're going to be talking about actions and their consequences, for better or worse. So, yep. Let's go ahead and shuffle this. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, if you've got questions, comments, topics, go ahead and comment. And if you want to flip cards, we can do a reading. Otherwise, I'm looking at the Destiny deck and probably going to do something for myself there. Not that I didn't like my reading for The Lost Forest. I do like that deck. But, I mean, it didn't give me anything really actionable, so... Yeah. And now, the question of how to stack. Because it'll make a big difference when somebody gets that card or not. And I might have put it so far away, or so close. Of course, if you believe in a higher power or something, then it's manipulating the cards anyways, and rather my manipulation of the cards to a certain extent to make sure that you get the bits that you need. So, now what question am I going to ask? I feel like I should be doing something in the way of work, job hunting and stuff like that. But then what kind of job am I hunting for? Should I do something simple, manual labor? And then, just let the body do its thing while the mind wanders? Or should I be trying to use my skills with programming, or should I try to pivot into a different area, or maybe just even start new? I'm not quite sure. So yeah, and I mean, I'm doing this for myself and I'll show you, but if you've got comments, questions, topics, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll just get to them once this is done. Normally we do a present state, although I don't really feel the need for that. I almost feel like that one card is enough. Yep. That's a bit unusual. I mean, even the yes-no spread that my guide for this deck came with. Hello, Moshina. Even that uses at least 3 cards. And do I want to share screen? Yeah. Let's go ahead and flip this card. We got 2 of Cups. So I'll go ahead and look that up. And you can see that. Two of Cups. There it was. Found you. Union, harmony, partnership, peace, and love. Perhaps there is a deeper commitment that is occurring in a current relationship, such as an engagement, moving in together, or marriage. This is an auspicious card for a creative partnership as well. This can include one that includes writing, art, creative interests, and healing work. 2 of Cups is a card of reconciliation and ongoing negotiations, which will be resolved in your favor. Enjoy the deep love that is coming your way in all aspects of your life. You deserve it. Well, if I were divining love, that might make more sense. Or I was trying to figure out about work. I'm not sure that's so applicable. But it is what it is, and I can reflect on that. So Moshina, do you have a question or topic? Or should I just play with the cards like I've been doing? And let me go ahead and we're done with that for now. Better start shuffling. Destiny tends to be a common deck. Relationship. Okay. Anything in particular? Thanks, Winston's mom. I'm tempted to think of something shorter, but Winston would not be the appropriate thing, apparently. No specific question about relationship. Okay. Then let's just do a general reading. I do like the Destiny deck for love as well, so we'll go ahead and use this one. And we'll just do 3 cards. Past, present, future, context. Trying to figure out if I need to shuffle these some more, and I think I do. So give me a bit, and then I'm going to do a 4 table shuffle. Hello, Bountiful Utah. Sorry about that. You'll have to call me later. No problem. given that you're asking, I'm assuming you're hopeful to be in one. We'll see. And now we just wait for the sound of the card shuffling to stop so that I can then flip them over. Oh, no jumping line. Thank you for asking, by the way. Yeah. It's more fun when I do readings for others. It's a bit easier. Figuring stuff out for yourself can always be hard, even if you're good at it for others. Okay, 3 cards. And we'll set that aside. So the context, the past, the influence, if I can flip it, we got the Empress, a major arcana card. That one has a strong association with feminine power, but let me go ahead and pull it up since we're using this deck. And let me share that so that you can see it. And I'll go ahead and hide chat for a bit so that you guys can see more clearly what I'm seeing. So the Empress calls on you to connect with your feminine side. She calls upon the divine feminine, encourages compassion, beauty, and love. She's deeply passionate and maternal. Her influence is creative, elegant, sensual, sexy, fertile, and nurturing. The Empress asks us to be kind to ourselves and search for beauty and happiness in our life. This card represents savoring the fruits of your labor while relishing in the rewards that have been earned. Experience the pleasure and satisfaction in your accomplishments. Based on the way you asked your question, it feels like you've already been through that. It's already had some influence to this point. So I'm assuming for you that it's self-evident, and that this is just more informative to everybody else in the class. For present, we got 8 of Cups. Cups would be what? Water, emotion. Let's see. Reveals a time of restlessness, as though something is missing. You may be going through a transition, even though things may appear harmonious to the observer. You may need to walk away from a situation or a person. It may be time to move on and leave something that no longer gives you fulfillment. This should not be a hasty decision. Only break away when you are sure there is nothing more you can contribute. Although you may feel sadness, it is the right time to let go. You will soon feel energized and move towards your soul's calling. You said you weren't in a relationship, so all of that part about potentially needing to walk away and whatnot, probably not so applicable. But this transition, even though things may appear harmonious to the observer, that may be you. Especially where you're asking about a relationship potentially in the future, even if it's not even specifically about a person. Like, things might be okay as they are, but you know it needs to evolve, I guess, change in a way, improve. Ooh. Well, I guess if he's still an influence in your life, sorry, for the rest, she's mentioning she's missing her ex. And I guess I shouldn't assume that it's a she, but sorry if that offends someone. Yeah, if that's still an influence in your life, maybe you just need to take some time to really reflect on that so that you can set it aside and then move on. Otherwise, this says, I mean, you're in a transition period, and part of that means you'll soon be out of it to a certain extent. So, yeah. And let's flip over our third card for the future. The High Priestess, another major arcana card. Oh, I want to say this one deals with your inner wisdom and intuition, stuff like that. Am I spelling priestess? That's my issue, of course. Here we go. The High Priestess is an intuitive and psychic. She is a symbol of the divine feminine and a gifted teacher. She asks us to go inward and trust our internal knowing. Stop looking for answers from the outside world. Your wisdom is your guidance. The arrival of this card is a sign to follow your heart and know that you are on the right path of your spiritual journey. Nurture yourself and your projects. Trust your inner guide. Success is around the corner. And yeah, given the Empress that we saw earlier, like you've got a strong connection already going on there. So it would just be relying on that more, if anything, whether it be to keep you safe from someone or to pull you to someone. Doesn't really promise a relationship or lack thereof. But yeah. And then let me go ahead and show you what we've got. And there are the cards in the flesh. Just to be fun. So we have the Empress on the left, the High Priestess on the right, Eight of Cups in the center. Working on your spirituality. Well, this would suggest that you're doing pretty well and going to continue to do pretty well. So let me go ahead and set that aside. And I'll take a picture, but let me go ahead and open up the chat again so that we can talk about stuff. Winston's mom had a comment. I'll go ahead and show that just because we missed that. Thank you. So this particular deck I was using is the Destiny deck. The creator's name was Lisa. I don't remember her last name, but it's probably in the guide that I had open there. Ooh. Yeah, right now I'm mostly in tarot, but I'm wondering if maybe I should be learning about other spiritual practices, sort of broaden my horizons in that aspect. Not Alyssa, Lisa. Let me see. I find her name in quite a few places. Maybe I should just can I find a credits? Because that'll give you the full name. There's her. And then we get into guide. Let's hop to the last page, see if we've got some credits there. Lisa Santine. Let me go ahead and show that. So this was the creator of that particular deck. I got this off of a Kickstarter, so I don't know if and how much she has in stock still. But yeah, it's the art isn't necessarily my favorite, though I still love it. But yeah, it's one of the ones that I'm drawn to use a ton. So, and we can go ahead and hide that. So that was the Destiny deck. previously I was using The Lost Forest. Oh, and now I'm reading your comment. Yeah, personally, I like Jordan Peterson, and he references Jung a lot. Um, Let me take my picture. The Lost Forest deck was actually inspired by Jungian ideas. So I think you might have joined after I'd already done my personal read for that. But I can go ahead and pull that out once I put these cards away. Because artistically, The Lost Forest is, I think, my favorite. At least of the ones I own. Which I guess it wouldn't be feasible for me to know every deck in the world. I don't think I have that kind of mind. We can go ahead and take that off. And then I'll just throw these cards out, basically, so that you can get an idea. So many cards. Yeah, they certainly won't all fit. But if we get enough out there, you'll definitely have a good enough idea of what it's like. Where's the cards back? Which way did you go? Yes. Okay. And phone. Let's show you guys what this is. And orient. There we go. So yeah, these are cards from The Lost Forest. And the artist, the creator of that one, was claiming a lot of Jungian influence. Frankly, I just really love this art style and what she does. So, uses elements as opposed to the traditional swords, wands, cups, pentacles. But when it comes to tarot, it's kind of the you do you sort of thing. So yeah. And we'll turn that off because my arm only does so much. Yep, Lost Forest. I don't remember the creator's name, but I imagine you'll be able to find it. This was her second edition, which she made on Kickstarter. Yeah. I want to watch more of Jordan's stuff, but at the same time, there's a lot of it. And it just takes so much time. I should probably see if he's got it on a podcast as well. Because then I'd be able to listen while doing stuff. That's the biggest thing with video. It's accessible, but at the same time, it's also kind of demanding in that it wants your attention. So, yeah. I'm trying to remember MBTI. That's not Myers-Briggs, is that? Because, I mean, I think even he talks about that, how it's just bunk, basically, at this point. But I think the shorthand would have been different for that. So, I should probably shuffle these. Now that they've been revealed. Take a shuffle. yeah, if anybody has questions, topics they want to talk about, by all means, chime in. Otherwise, I'll probably end up talking about how I've got Jordan Peterson's books, and I just need to make more time for reading them. Not that I haven't got the condensed version in snippets on YouTube, but it's a different kind of engagement reading. Because I just started I have both of his, well, I think he might have more books. No, he definitely has more books. But as far as his Rules for Life sort of series, I've got those two. And I've only started the first one. And I just finished the chapter on treat yourself like someone you are assigned to care for, or something to that effect. Okay. Yeah. Jordan's talked about it. I don't know that we need to dig into it. But yeah, last I call, like, the Myers-Briggs can help, but it also, like, it's not the two-edged sword that you might want in a tool. I think his complaint when he was talking about his thing he put together is that it was effective, but that people didn't like being on the downside. So, which, I mean, if you want to be on the upside, well, there has to be a distinction. So, and to definitively place yourself there isn't necessarily doing yourself a service. So. Because that one has its cheat sheet too. And then I should shuffle the Destiny deck. While I'm shuffling, you guys can, well, I mean, you can talk amongst yourselves. I think for the most part, you end up talking with me. But if you've got questions or topics, reading or not, we can talk about them. Of course, I won't read your mind, so if you do want to talk, you will have to chat up in this case. I've wondered about setting up something that people could call into, but that's probably farther down the road. There we go. Well, and maybe I'll help pull it up so that you know what I'm talking about. Oops. Sorry if that was loud. Along with that, it'll be nice when I have a proper table and chairs. That's fine. That can stay there. Let me just set these aside so I can reach the computer and I can pull up my stuff on it. Do you remember who I am? I think you do. Let's see. Load more. Lost for second edition. Here we go. Let's skip down to what we can see. And then good to know. Oh, and let me share. So this is the Kickstarter I backed, created by Chelsea Santamaria. There's some of the art. You might have seen it in the spray we just did. We don't need updates. Campaign is probably the interesting thing. So there's the story and whatnot. I guess let me just go ahead and throw the link for this into the description into the chat so you guys can. Oh, I guess my messages only go to so many places. And I guess it really wants me to confirm that. Gosh, I guess I've never chatted before. I didn't remember having to confirm that. I am not a robot. Just to send you guys information. Let's see. There we go. Skip that for now. And I am amazed too. Sometimes, like, for leisure reading, I like Brandon Sanderson. He does high fantasy for the most part. And I think we're done there. Oh, no, leave the overlay. Hide the website. There we go. Yeah, I sometimes wonder if, because like, I'd love to see his stuff in a visual format if they made movies or a TV series out of his books and whatnot. And I just wonder sometimes with the support he has, if he just asked people if they had the skills or if they had the money, if that would be enough to put together the project to make that a reality, as opposed to him having to deal with some company or other getting the rights, blah, 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 and then who knows how long that'll take. Because, yeah, I mean, sometimes I think like, maybe I should script somebody's story because I want to see it actualized. Because there's a difference between reading it, because you can get into like the head and whatnot. Whereas with a movie, like if you can't see it, if you can't hear it, it doesn't exist. And I mean, with his last book of Rhythm of War from the Stormlight Archive, a number of characters had pretty explicit like mental stuff going on. And I don't think he dug into it to that extent before. So, but that sort of stuff you don't necessarily, like the character isn't, I guess, for example, I'm thinking of a spirit that he has. Gosh, it would be called a spren, I think. An honor spren. But it's a particular one that has ADHD. And it's not like her behavior is any different from how it was in previous books. I mean, apart from the initial development of the character. But then when she gets her chapter and you get it from her perspective, it's like, yeah, that's clearly that's clearly this thing. But prior to that, I'm just like, that's who she is. So, yeah, that's a tangent. But yeah, I guess for other people in the conversation, go ahead and chime in. If you have questions, if we want to do readings, that's cool. And if you want to check out, the other decks, that's cool too. Let me just prep the Destiny guide. I've got to look into why it auto shares. It didn't used to do that, and then they changed something. But yeah, I just want that ready for when, if and when someone wants a reading and we use Destiny. I do prefer to use the guides for the decks that they came with. There we go. Okay. That's ready. Yeah. I kind of want to pull out the Cosmo and Prisma. And I guess nobody can really stop me, so. I'll go ahead and show some of the Prisma. And yeah, let's just throw some of these out there. Just because that's a good example. Okay, gonna have to stick those together at some point. And sorry, chat, we'll go ahead and hide you for a moment. Not me, you. Just so that we can see the cards. So this is a deck. I believe the creator's name is James R. Eads. I mean, it looks like James Reads, but there's a initial there, not the complete last name. So It's got a very Van Gogh style, in my opinion. And his other deck, that's my Cosmo deck as well, is like that too, or in a similar style. So these are some of the cards from that. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, so this one has like the King of Swords. It has face cards, like traditional. Um, and it's got the traditional suits as well. All the traditional stuff, I should say. Oh, let me stop shaking that for you. But then his most recent deck, the Cosmo, and I guess the full name for them is like Prisma Visions, and then Cosmo Visions, if you wanted to go look for them. And the Cosmo Visions starts to mix things up quite a bit. So instead of face cards, it has the beams, as it refers to them. And so they replace the traditional face cards. And then the names for the major arcana are mixed up. So like the very first one, which is normally the Fool. I'm probably going to need to shuffle that. Let me set that aside. Make way. Which in the Prisma you just saw was a pelican, I think. Maybe a stork, who knows. In Cosmo, the same card would be Death. Death would be the first card. The meaning is still the same, but it's the idea of dying and entering that new world, that new journey, which is what the Fool is all about. And so it takes some liberties with stuff like that. Why am I shuffling? I'm just spraying. And yeah, I flipped over a couple of major cards right here. So we've got like Life on Earth, Karma, the Cosmic Tree, we've got the Crow, we've got the Wanderer and the Mystic and the Shapeshifter, which are the face cards, which are being cards in this deck. Excuse me. We'll call that good. Set that aside, and I have a phone somewhere. Yes, I do. There it is. And so these are some of the cards from the Cosmo deck, which the same sort of style. You've got that same sort of Van Gogh stuff going on. But then you've got, like, let's see. Yeah, down here we've got some. You've got Karma. So I'm not sure what that replaces. I don't have the cards memorized. And the Cosmic Tree. Here's the Dreamer, which replaces. That's going to be the Bird Suit, which corresponds to. Oh gosh, Wands? I can't remember. And then you've got the Mystic over here. Or no. Birds, I think, corresponds to swords. And then the Empress and whatnot. That corresponds to wands. What do we have? Yes, because then we have trees for pentacles and lotuses for cups / chalices. So anyways, back to zooming around. And yeah, so this renames them. So you've got embers, birds, lotuses, and trees are the suits here. And now we're done. So my arm can take a break, and so I can go back to mixing cards. Because I feel like that uncertainty is important for whatever power that you believe is working through me to give you your answer. So yeah, those are my decks. And then I just got the sun, the moon. I don't know if that's the actual name, but that's what's on the box. Not my favorite so far. It's probably it's probably going to be my least, because I've also got an Oracle deck, so that's not the traditional tarot, but an Oracle deck coming. Sorry, trying to pick up cards. And let me go ahead and open up chat again, so you guys can talk and ask questions if you want. Yeah. Oh, and let me add the... Hey, Maxie. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question. I'm just going to pop my caption real quick. Okay, got all of those. Oops, sorry. And I should probably shuffle these. And I'm going to run out of space. Let's see. Is it positive to go work with him? You're basically asking a yes/no. I'm inclined to use the Destiny deck. It's got a spread in its guide for that. And thankfully, this one shuffled, so we can just go ahead and use that. So how the yes and no for this one? You have a job, but there's a new offer. Okay. Let me find the yes/no so that you know what I'm. I guess I'll also need it because I can't remember all the cards that are no's, maybes, neutrals. What is tarot? That is not what I need. I want to say 77. The guide. I'm so good. You can't see, but I was spot on. Let me go ahead and share that. So this is the guide I'm going to use for this spread. And I'd like to slide that a little, too fast. Because yeah, it's this yes, no, neutral exceptions that I'm going to need to keep track of. And for some reason, it's lagging, which is bad. We'll see if it catches up. I wonder if my computer is getting a bit overloaded. Maybe I have one too many tabs open. Gosh, okay, I guess we'll just leave it at that. So yeah, we'll flip 3 cards and then take a look at what they correspond to. So, probably shuffle anyways. So, our first card. Right. Yeah. So we're trying to get yes, no, whether or not you should go with him. Yeah. So first card is Knight of Cups. And then looking at our guide, I don't think that's our... Basically, we need to check to see if it's any of the no's, neutrals, or exceptions. But I don't think, Knight of Cups seems to be safe. So that's a yes card. We've got the Star, which is a major arcana. So that seems to be a yes card too. Moon would have been a no, but so far so good. And then Queen of Cups. Queen. Yeah, I'm not seeing Queen. So as far as the cards are concerned, yeah, you should go with it. Yeah, Lillian, go ahead and ask your question. But yeah, Maxi, as far as yours goes, the cards are indicating a strong yes from everything I can tell. And when you've got stuff like the Star in the mix there, which is usually associated with hope, seems promising. So I don't know if that's just an adventure that maybe you need. But yeah, that's where we're at. Oh, I guess I'm in the way of this one, huh? And then I'll take a picture. At some point, it'll end up on social media. But till then, you at least have this video to reference. So, yeah. Lily Ann, is my beloved Will be suggested me? Sorry, I guess I'm having a little trouble understanding. Will, you're beloved, so you like them. Be suggested for your engagement in the next months? I guess I'm not familiar with what the situation is. And I guess part of it, I don't know your culture, to be clear, because like in some places there are still arranged marriages. So I don't know if like these are parents in talks and you're wondering if they're going to go down that direction, or if you're just wondering if he's going to own up to it. Not to it, but just propose to you at some point. Are you just asking if he's going to propose? And if so, let me shuffle the Destiny deck, because I do like that for this kind of question. And I need more space. Will he offer a generous engagement and marriage? I mean, we could do a yes-no spread. Although qualities like generous and whatnot, I mean, we could try to infer that from the cards that get flipped, like the Star for Maxi, indicating it's pretty optimistic. Trying to think if there's any other way I would do that. Will he? really the way you're proposing it, it's a yes, no. So I think I'm just going to use that same spread. In fact, let's just go ahead and pull that up so that you can have that for reference. I still need to shuffle a bit, but yeah, so we'll do 3 cards. And I guess statistically speaking, most cards are yes cards. So the odds of a yes are decent. At least 2 yeses, pretty good. So that's just the statistics. But assuming that you have a higher power or a god or something to that effect willing to work through me and through these cards to give you an answer, we'll get a right one. So, and now the question of stacking. Because that determines so much. Oh, finally it got centered. Okay. So basically, we're doing yes, no on the engagement and subsequent marriage. And then as far as generous, we'll try to determine that from the quality of the cards. So 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 4 of cups, 5 of cups, and 7 of wands. So 4 of cups is neutral. That's good to know. 5 of cups is a no. And then 7 of wands. 7 of wands, the answer is yes, but you must fight for it. Ooh. So we're spread all over the place. Yeah, and I'll show these to you, but yeah, this isn't, I mean, you don't really have an answer here from what I can tell. It could go either way. You've got 1 yes, you've got 1 no, you've got 1 that's undecided. So I'll just show you what we got. So yeah, the 4 of cups was the neutral one, if I remember right. Yeah. And then 5 of cups was no. And then 7 of wands was yes, but you'd have to fight for it. So I guess this is suggesting if you really want it to happen, it'll take some work, but otherwise, I don't know, you don't have a very strong answer here. So sorry, it's not that promising, but that's what we got. And then none of these are pentacles, so which I would normally associate with more materialistic and the earthly aspects of things. Cups does have a lot to do with emotions, though, so whether that's for better or worse, I don't know that these cards speak favorably to that. So yeah. 7 of wands. Yes. Yeah. I mean, really what you got was a mix. And so in all likelihood, no. You're welcome. I'm sorry it's not, well, I guess I don't even know if you think this is a good or a bad thing, but Yeah. Yeah. I I mean, if you're head over heels for him, I mean, you might end up pushing and fighting for it, and you might end up making it happen, but I don't know that given what we're reading here, I don't know if that's something you should be putting your effort into. Because this mixed bag isn't very promising. Yeah. And what start shuffling. Okay. Thanks, Lillian. If anybody else has questions, topics, we don't have to do readings, but they are available. So otherwise, I'll just keep shuffling these. Two cards there. Okay. Sorry, some of these are suspicious in that they sometimes stick together. And, yep, looks like a few managed to do it. We'll go ahead and put this back before I'm tempted to look at them. And then I'll start shuffling the other decks since we showed so much of that off. Yeah, we'll do a table spread. But I'm wanting 5 piles now. I don't know that I can fit them all. Yeah. Okay. Electronics to ground. So much more room. Maybe I should do this going forward. And yeah, feel free to chime in, ask questions, have fun. Got sliding cards. Or we can just listen to the sound of cards sliding off my fingers and imagine it's the sea or something. Although it probably doesn't go in and out as fast as I'm going through these cards. Stay in your little piles. to stack. Yeah, right now I'm just using my girlfriend actually brought this camping table, basically. Um, so that's what I've been using. Otherwise, I'd probably just be using the kitchen counter, which is what I was using for work during the pandemic for almost the whole time. And then sitting on my bouncy ball, my stretchy ball, exercise ball, whatever they call it these days. What? And time to shuffle. But yeah, I got a gaming table. And I'm going to get a big one. So even though it'll just be me and her and whatever guests I now have, because I'm not too fond of inviting people over where there's only the couch to sit at or the counter to stand around. Yeah, that'll be a bigger table. And it's got a hollow inside with, the top of the table is segmented into leaves, is what they call them. And you can take them off, and there's an area meant for playing games. But it would be as good for doing readings. So, but then I'll also want to get matching chairs. And then I won't have a ball I roll around on. For better or worse. And yeah, if I move to that setup, I'm thinking I might, I'll have to arrange the place anyways to account for a new table, but yeah, I'll probably, what is this called, stream? I'll probably stream from a little different spot. My girlfriend is of the anxious variety. Used to be a lot worse. Used to be some pretty crazy jealousy, manipulation. But yeah, once I broke off from that, she ground herself until she was a better person. So that's where we're at now. And now, don't tell her, but I've got the ring. I keep acting like I don't have all the details, and so I haven't put in the order yet. But she's in pharmacy school. She also works, so she's got tight timelines and whatnot. And so she's really set on getting married in June at this point. And she's worried about me not proposing anytime soon, which means no invitations anytime soon, which means probably have to delay. And then how is she going to schedule that into her life? Who knows? But yeah. But it'll be okay. So far things are going well. And hopefully they continue to. So, yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining, guys. I think we'll call that good. We'll be here next week. I imagine we'll still do Talking Tarot. And yeah, I mean, if you want to join Monday just for the update on how streaming is going, just from the financial perspective and the business aspects, not that I really have much as a um, person just messing around with it, but that's the update there. And then Wednesdays we do philosophy, or at least we try to. This next one might actually be interesting because I need to figure out morals versus ethics, and then we're going to tie that back to our discussion of human interactions. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, take care. Have a good weekend. Hopefully, I see you soon.